we talked so much about how different these two teams look this season compared to last, but both head coaches also have very different mindsets heading into this year. Coach Sanderson for the Roughnecks says he knows exactly what type of team he has mentioned off the top of the show. These two teams only meeting twice prior to tonight in close games at that. And if you take a closer look at the way these two rosters are constructed, it's almost a tale of two teams. Talking with head coach of Vancouver, Kurt Malosky, he said he wanted to build this team from the back out, starting between the pipes with Aiden Walsh, who's been stellar. And then the heartbeat of this team, that gritty blue-collar meat and potatoes style defense. Halifax has had one of the most potent offenses, and this year is no exception. Head coach Mike Kersey said the motto on that side of the ball is everybody eats. It's an offense by committee. That's why they found success. And guys, I don't know, you're getting meat and potatoes, you're getting everybody eating. I feel like we may be in for a feast tonight. Injury can be such an unfortunate part of sports, but for Adam Charlambides, it allowed him to find his passion off the floor, which in turn has helped with his play. Back in his college days at Rutgers, he tore his ACL twice and felt so much frustration with how the rehab process didn't really seem to go as planned the first time around. So he took a huge interest in the human body, and he ended up graduating with his master's degree in human resources, but then went on to get his personal training certificate. He said he's been able to analyze his physiology in such a unique way. Obviously a ton of familiarity with guys tonight as he's going up against his old team, but he's also got quite the history with his new teammates. This past summer, he competed with the Haudenosaunee Nationals at the World Lacrosse Box Championship alongside Cody Jamieson and Randy Stotts. He said playing with them so recently made the adjustment to Halifax really easy, and the chemistry was there right away, especially on that right side with Stotts. He said he'd be open for a split second and the ball was already in his stick. They're clicking so well, but Halifax Thunderbirds, it's their rule of thirds. 18 games split into 3 6-game series. It's how they kind of stay in the moment without getting too far ahead of themselves. So their first series, they go 2-4, maybe not the way that they wanted to start the season. They dropped to 3 1-goal games, but then the second series, they bounced back almost a complete 180. They go 5-1. Their defense was on fire with Warren Hill steady between the pipes. Their offense continued to build. Their transition was at... Well, after their win over Saskatchewan last weekend, head coach Mike Kersey said that was their most complete effort he's seen from this Thunderbirds team all season. So when I talked to him about his overall outlook on the remainder of the season, he said, look, of course we want to be able to host a first-round playoff game and ultimately hoist an NLL championship trophy, but we have to take things one game at a time in this league. Prior to that game versus Saskatchewan, they've fallen victim to complacency. He said confidence is contagious. That's the focus. When Warren Hill is solid, it inspires the defense, it sparks transition, and ultimately allows this offense to play loosely. You can't put the cart in front of the horse, and that's the mindset for their last stretch of tough. Now, these two teams often have very heated matchups, but two players really turn up the heat when playing one another. Clark Peterson, 34 points across 6 games against Saskatchewan, and Zach Mans, 53 and 11, including the postseason going back to his time with Toronto. Now, Clark Peterson said he feels like he finds success because the way their defense plays. He likes to get to the middle of the floor, so when they pressure out, he can dodge and get through to his sweet spots. And for Mans, he said it's simply the team he's played the most. Well, Randy Stotts is leading the league in assists, but until last weekend only had 3 goals, then of course a 4-goal performance in Rochester. So I asked him what changed, and he sort of laughed and said, okay, look, I know the saying is it's the magician, not the wand, but it really was my stick. He said back in his Georgia days, Shane Jackson used to string them for him, and you know, they're not locker buddies anymore, so he kind of had to figure it out on his own. He said he was getting so frustrated with the release of how the ball would come out of his stick as he would shoot, so he took out an old one, copied it.
Maki Jenner.
Clark, your coaches earlier this week talked so much about playing for a full 60. What's it going to take to compete for that long tonight?
Yeah, I think it's doing it on both sides of the ball, right? Offense, defense, goalie transition, right? We just got to stay focused, not worry about, you know, up 3, down 3. Don't worry about that. Just worry on what we can control in the next shift.
All the way back in this one. What was the difference in that second half to pull away with this one?
You know, it's a game of runs, and both teams were firing tonight, and, you know, we just got the last one, and that's how it kind of went. I thought we played a good game all around, and, you know, we just battled through. You got to get wins somehow.
You and Dixon combined for 18 points. What does it feel like to win alongside him back in these colors?
yeah, where Curtis goes, I like to go. He's a good player, man. He's my best friend, so I have a lot of fun playing with him.
Clark, you guys said you missed Randy last week, but this offense as a whole is just buzzing early in this game. What is the key to that hot start?
Well, yeah, I think you see he comes back. That's another huge piece to our chessboard, right? He creates so much. He's setting, it's not recognized, but he's one of the best pickers in the game as well. Gets everybody else open. You've seen the shots that he's hitting tonight. It's unbelievable.
Now, earlier this season when you guys played this team, had a big lead at half and fell short. How do you guys continue what you've already built to close this one out?
Yeah, we got to reset, so 0.
Connor, you just said to me it's always a battle with these guys, but you held them to 9 goals, and I know that was a huge area for you guys. How do you feel about the way that this defense played tonight?
I mean, they've been great for us all season. Obviously, last game was an offensive shootout last weekend, and but they've kept us in a lot of games. We have a lot of confidence in our defense, and it helps us play loose up front. So, this win was because of them, and we're thankful we have that unit back there because I'd hate to go against them.
Pat Gregoire claimed you as the party starter, getting things started for this team here, but 5 different goal scorers. What's working offensively to kind of have that by committee success?
Yeah, I think we're just sharing the ball really well. We're getting a lot of good looks. Probably could have a few more on the board right now, but we got a lot of great players out there, so just trying to share the ball, get everyone involved, and look to add a few more in the second half here, for sure.
A very close game back and forth. You guys have maintained the lead, though. What's key to kind of continuing that, really stretching it out and getting the win here tonight?
Yeah.
Coach, I mean, some of these women have been around the game since they were 4 years old. An opportunity to continue to make history. What's it going to take to find that last gear and get it done today?
Well, the way I look at it is it's the team that wants it the most here. Both teams are very talented. Both teams are well coached. It's going to be a tough...
Maki Jenner, Livy, all of you, your names now inserted in the history books. What does this one mean for you?
Sorry. It's really exciting. I think that it was like a long journey to get here. And it was hard. And I think like we came back from being down, and I think that just shows like what type of team we are and how much we care about each other and just that will to win.
I mean, your coach talked about being ready for greatness, and that is something that all of you women absolutely showed on this floor today. You had a tremendous game, one of the turning factors. I mean, to do it alongside some of those people must be pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was so much fun, and we owe it all to our coaches, really. They believed in us. We were a bunch of field players turned box.
Dane, I mean, it just seems that all you do is win, but what does this one mean for you?
This means the world. You know what? This is the hardest trophy to win. Obviously, it's an honor playing for your country, and to bring gold to Canada, it's an unbelievable accomplishment.
As we set off the start, and defense first, especially with Warren Hill.
Yeah, but tonight their offense is going to have to step up big. No Randy Stotts as he was issued out due to an illness. However, Warren Hill has been at his best, coming off of one of his best performances. 5 goals against last weekend. An 89.1% save average. Not only his best of the season, but his best since January of 2020. Now, he's been able to square to the shooters more. He's seeing the outside shots so well, tracking that ball, which in turn has allowed their defense to pack it in a little bit more. But Ted, that is simply just one factor that has led to this red-hot Halifax team and their defense. They're scoring in timely matters, transition, offense, everything. When they're able to put together a full 60, good things happen.
National Lacrosse League.
Yeah, Troy Holochuk arguably has the biggest opportunity at hand here in this one tonight. As you mentioned, Ted, his first career start in the National Lacrosse League. We've seen him in big sample sizes in the summer with Oakville, but smaller sample sizes in the NLL. His most amount of minutes actually coming back in 2022 against Halifax when he came to relieve Nick Rose. Now look, these are two very different goaltenders. Holochuk is a much more reactionary style of goalie, but he has all the confidence in the world in himself. Their defense not going to change up too many things because they know that he can get the job done, and it's all about confidence on the back end for the Rock.
Start is Dawson Thied.
I mean, for many Halifax fans, they may not have had Dawson Thied as leading goal scorer on their bingo card, but they call him the big man for a reason, and he has absolutely come up big this season. He's averaging 6 points. We talked about it at halftime. The key to Halifax getting hot in this one is the stick of Captain Cody Jamieson. A lethal outside shooter. Again, that kind of late slide coming from Latrell Harris. Changes the levels of his shot and is able to just send that one soaring. Pat Holochuk for his 4th of the... all game long, I've been waiting for these righties to get active. They have been so dominant, but truly starting in the back end. Patience and for a second in a row. Talk about tic-tac-toe, keeping the ball hot in your stick. It's in and out, it's quick, it's lining up that on the backside again. Clark Peterson, Thomas Hogarth, two of the most dominant factors in this league on the right side this year. The chemistry almost instantaneous since Hogarth came over from Calgary. A little low-look pass from Peterson. Hogarth.
A tie lacrosse game.
I am no gymnastics judge, but if I were, tens across the board for that effort with a little somersault at the end as Thomas Hogarth showing off his athleticism. He's just able to sneak inside, dip that over the top of Jamison, and circle that one cleared for takeoff. Once again, it's
It's a one-goal game.
Halifax, are you not entertained? The big man doing it all himself, falling to the ground, giving everything on his effort to find the back of the net. You see it start with that first kind of step. Johansson doing a great job. That is not an easy task, but he just able to allow his stick to change.
But can they find some more momentum here, Mackenzie?
Scoring in bunches is something that Halifax loves to do. And again, Mike Robinson, someone that came into this team as a rookie, wasn't really sure. He started playing on the back end a little bit in transition, but a dominant force, the all-time leading goal scorer at Delaware. We know he can put the ball in the back of the net. It was only time until he could heat up in this one.